Kaya yung sa teenage at the katyuhan. Huchen yes ay ikakwasatu ya yidat. Wasa shtuka khatati ide. Ya hayu khatangi at khsati at aya. Ye awe khwa akhaji yes wudutlegach. Ye awe khana hasakawanik. Tek hain akawanik aya dasti ya. Ka tatya naksa khadutitsin. Hayu khatangi. Ye awecho ach ke hinak eid ka a kach konai laga ha yu katangi kach konai laga konach a kach konai laga kashdasa a yich kuge ha yu katangi shakshani eid ka shishkwan a kati se ukagok we yek at ya yek at Gillingitani ka kutzati at ka a ka haswunichi at like Kajakti eid. A dreach tu yake ya hayukitangi utusuku ya yedat. Jadak yukitangi sahatuati. Glitkakinach gug, klingitkinach gug. Aka awe. Wuchi negachtit lak. Stekat Johan. Ya gwell klik dis shuhich. Ake wutien. We cook to his. Dakihiti. Aka awe chod chosatin. Klaus klar du klar. Hu awe klechos a kuon. Klech du gate geguden. Ja klech du gate nach gutch. Klech chosatinch. Ye awe du si ko a. Konachwe du inye jachane. A joe achtu yek du ye hai chosatini. Aka awe we YNLC. Kachas yek Ja, Jago ye Hojian, Cash has to Torshku has to eat the cookie hatwuti. He dat ha wished it's a han. Kaachtu yek I high has a kausha hit we cookakach. Ye ewe has to ye jene, Kaachtu as a guye sakai, gun cheese klein, the cut you han. Ya de ya cook. Ya cook a dachawe chosatin. Ishukwa we ye jene. A cook the he's stuck hit ye rose. Eske was a quati we yada karshit ya high karshit. Hechosaku scanning called like Karinach. Hoko hechosaku copyright dot kukwatu. We can a tagish stories Angela Sydney. Ye awe kuchotis. We ichti de yich hot Hasa yawat lak we YNLC. Gunilchish. Yukon yukatangi. Yukon shakatka u yukatank dakahiti. Awe aka karshakit. Yata kwalisa ku. De adaye jitune. Kleedihin awe just hoods in dujiye wutien. We in klesh kusti we gao you Kakusti wutig. Maya tiyeg gan yakshakitsk. Isikugi. Kakako kunachasagawat lak. Galkelhas. We hoods du klidi tai a kausachat you awe du chawu shayet. Kledi hinawe kakak a kawa kwe du chawu a yawat laki du jit. Dasawe da ine. Achiet ki haswutlet ik. Kakaki yawaka. Ach tuasagu ichawu. Ha, ach kledi tai dachjan at lak. She de heen. Awe yawsani. Ja ga awe ach hausatag we in. Chayuk we hoots ausakuwa sa atwune. Kakakwe atkatu atki. Hastu jita wa kik. An ach wujihich we nakats Dechshanach kanachwitchich. We hoots quatlesha de aquachlishat. Aquachlishat, yeah. Here we are. Halfway done. Finally, Bear gave up. Do we need to look anything up? Translators.
얘가 대화.
What day Huang? Despair, put off, quit. Maybe this one. This one is to quit working. This is to quit drinking. And this is to just generally give up. There's another one, which is aushachach, which is to give up hope, which is maybe a little strong. That's what I'd say. And so if we see this as ke chwashit, achshet dehani kleseyach ilchetang, achui kircht lechit. So we see a couple different versions of it. There's a DL version. We can go look in Lear and see what we've got for Flint. It means to throw things until they scatter. So then the big difference here is to give up something or to just give up in general. So we have to decide, is there something he's giving up? So you're going to quit this thing, or is he just quitting in general?
I think he's quitting in general.
Here we go. What is Adam there? So this verb and then wehoots are two independent things that could go on either side of each other. You could say wehoots keut lechit, or you could say keut lechit wehoots. Doesn't matter. Whichever is more important usually comes first.
There's no need for CH after hoots.
No, it's pretty clear. I think you could, because we are going back and forth. But I think once you sort of wehoots, so you could say wehoots. I think dehua works better. Or if you say dehua keut lechit wehoots. The only reason why it would be named is that's the one who did it. But since we're switching again, we probably want to start this one with naqat's a. I'll do the first word. Got you. I got you. Threw it down to a big rock.
Our gig.
Okay. The two part, I think we're going to end up with on.
Do we need yay in there because he threw it down?
That's a good question. Well, if we put yay in front of it, then it's got to go to qiq, which I think could work. Yay awaqiq. Threw it down.
Okay, plain day.
Probably cut.
Ah, yadu, way in.
I might suggest a qa away or a dakh away, because we don't really want to have yadu if there's verbs in there. It doesn't fit too well. Or you could say yag away. That would be fine too.
Would this for the verb part, would it be Kayaaní? Kayaaní?
Yeah, I think that could work. So I made this little handout a while ago just to drive myself crazy. And it's called Give Me a Break. And so this shows you all the different entries I currently have for a break. And then rope-like objects, quite a few of them. Breaking apart. Oh. And then you can break O, but that's a stick-like object. Stick-like object. Solid object to break. X'éig. That could be for someone to break O, usually by bending. Okay. For a long object to break. For S to break something, small stick-like object. Another one, in breaking it into pieces. Breaking up your halibut hooks. This is usually like, I'm breaking all my halibut hooks. Because a long time they break them all. I was just talking to someone about this last night. You break them all up. If you're really skunking out, then you just bust them all up, probably quite dramatically, and start all over. Break pieces off. Okay, that's interesting, but that's not it. To break, to give away suddenly. To break a fragile object. To break another fragile object. For something to break, fragile object. To be disappointed. To break something into a fragile object into pieces. To break someone's heart. To break eggs into pieces. To break O into pieces. And then for something to break into pieces, crumble, and to break a large object into pieces. So I broke the rock in pieces with the fire. And here they are smashing up the door there. So I guess, I think it might be, but then I don't know if you're crumbling it, but I think it could work. And then we have a Kayaaní. And here that Flint broke up. Oops, wait, in. I guess it's a Kayaaní. It broke into pieces. Okay? You threw the pieces around and said, go all over the world. So I don't have a give me a throw handout, but there is a throwing verb.
Is that the same as the one we just used? So
Well,
it'd be a gig.
well, that would be, okay, so let's go through it. So it's probably going to be this one. So here's plural objects, which is, in this case, you all. They're going to throw you all into the fire. And then we have to hold on to the end of something and throw the other end, especially like a net. This is a solid object, which we did have a solid object when the flint was whole. but now it isn't. Throw a ball, throw a stick-like object, throw a non-rigid object. This is usually a living thing. So I think gandh, what do I saw? Gandh I think is something like that. We're trying to come up with a name for a bouncer, like at a bar. Just throws people outside. Throwing liquid. Throwing something so that it scatters, which I don't think would work here. But this is also used as a metaphor for just blowing your money. Although I used to pay some of the elders in cash. And one time Shakshani said, I'm going to throw my money all over the place. And she laughed. To hurl a spear, so this is to throw something against something, which is this one as well. Usually to throw things in a spear-like way. To push onto or to throw it onto. Oh, awakuk. Maybe that goes back to how he threw the rock. I like that. So I'm going to change that to awakuk. This is to throw something as a missile at someone's head. So I am going to say, I do think.
So it would be the H because it's plural, like because it broke into pieces now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll just go. Just to check, we're just going to check here and see what the perfective looks like. I'm guessing it's a 0, but I'll find out. Whoops. Yeah, I guess I would say Wartakhatyete awqich. Maybe it should be long.
Renee,
Ah,
what's that top one? Does that say pinched eye or is that geese?
this is saying, I think that's how he marks that this stem won't go low.
Say again?
The stem will stay high. So it's marked with a high tone here. So it would be one that we would, I think if I understand his markings right, we would write that in the theme as a verb that does not go low in the stem.
Oh, okay. So that's a accent on the eye there.
Yeah, it's saying this one stays high.
Okay.
And it's probably marked that way from the ones that stay high without an apostrophe at the end.
Oh, okay.
They probably carried that over from Tongass.
Okay. I think I know what you mean now.
Okay, so we'll say awaqich. So I'm looking for awaqich. And then I wanted to change this into awaqich. Way in, or what if we said way way come de khayli. So the broken up Flint, awaqich, around.
Is that the yay day?
Yeah, but I had one more word before that.
Oh, Shakati day. And then would it go ka yay ka? All right, how about ka?
Go all over the world. Have you heard of this one? Kayaaní. Oops, I did it wrong.
Kayaaní.
What's that?
I said Kayaaní.
Oh, yeah. Go everywhere. But he says, go all over the world. Kayaaní Kade. I think this would be a cool one if you did like. I don't even know if you need a verb there. You just do one of these cool, like, yelling things. Do we know what Kayaaní is?
Atiede Singadanitach.
Yeah, Kayaaní is a contraction of Klingadani. Klingadani. People need you.
Wa H itinach kayati.
Close. I will. The panel
Yehon.
said Ka itinech Kayati. We have something at the beginning.
Would that be the E?
Eh.
Eh.
Itinech Kayati. Yeah. Make lots of flint for people.
Lance,
Ah,
can you say Itinach Ka Iati?
no. You could say Ka itinech iati. You need people. But whatever is needed is going to go right here. And that would include Hastu itinech chatyati. I need them all. So that would include a pronoun. And the type of pronoun here, so what if I said, I'm not full of myself, I'm just using this as an example. People need me. Just doing a little pronoun check.
Fa itinach kayati.
The panel will accept itinech kayati and request an adjustment on the pronoun.
That
Not chat.
Ach.
Yeah, well. Ach, it's like through my remain. Ach itinech, ach ka, ach da. It's one of those things, which we don't usually see it done that way, but I think it's a good exercise. Okay, no longer needed. Make flint, make lots of flint for people.
clean in X'éig. Días.
Let's say ka, the fourth person.
Okay. Yes.
Ku'u would be like for this group of people. Ka is how you get to the people. And it did fly all over the world. It didn't fly like a bird, so we're not going to use that.
Connie.
Kade.
I might suggest kach, and you might say the cut with on a kach, just because it's repeated sort of motion is implied there.
Would it kin?
But it didn't fly like a bird or a plane. So this is the case where the English verb would work, but I would probably suggest just a general.
Like the back to the throwing verbs.
Well, that puts the action. It's on the action. Like I would probably suggest in this case, woo-ha. Like that's it, or a kawaha. Either one. Kawaha would be like it just went there.
So that's like invisible movement.
Yeah, woo-ha is invisible. Kawaha is like it happened to be there. It happened like, but kawaha and kawaya are interesting. Like I would suggest just look at a bunch of examples, because if you say hakakawaha, something happened to us, right? And then you say woo-ha, like I think that's how I suggested translating Gone with the Wind. Ach woo-ha uchjatin. Last night we were doing movie lines in advanced Tlingit for the last couple of weeks. It was fun. We'd say a movie line, you had to guess the movie. So in this case, that's probably what I'd recommend. It just means to it just went, traveled. But it's a little bit mysterious in terms of, because you also say kawahayat, just a strange thing. We're looking at a story today. Kawahayat was in it, something strange. And in there's a raven story where he invites everything in the world for a ku'ik. His wife is mad. Why'd you just invite all kinds of weird things? I guess that's how I think of it. Fox waited. Oh, Fox waited to see if Bear would come.
Would you say eh? Or is that more like oh my?
Like that. You can say het,
Heh.
and that's like, because I guess it kind of depends, because we don't know how she would have, whether this was a, oh my, or if it's like, oh, like it's hard to say, but het, that works really well in storytelling. Just like, oh my. That's eh. How do you,
Ga word, ga verb.
yiqa. And so here you would probably say hoots, yiqa. And then you've got options. You can say yebuti, which means to just be still. Or you could say wunuk, they sat there. And so what you end up with is this noun yiqa. Then you usually have some sort of positional verb. Like for example, you could say, hey, I gotta go do something. It's gonna take me a little while. I could say, I'll be here waiting. I'll sit here and wait for you. I guess I'd probably land on something like so he could see him coming. Something like that. Is that what you think the English is doing? What's that? And then we're gonna go. Oops.
So when do you use hade, like when you say to hade kwagut or to hande kwagut, and because I saw that you switched it to an X underline.
Yeah, so this would be towards him.
Okay.
Would be around us, around this vicinity. So we would all have to be there for it to,
Mm.
and that's why you say hagu, come over in this area. So it's the area around the speakers, whoever the speakers are.
So you could also say like hagu, come around me. Like
Yeah,
or that.
hagu would just be come to this area.
Okay.
But it
So
usually,
that's not a pronoun.
it's a preverb because you say hat iagut,
Okay.
but it wouldn't work here because we're telling a story.
Mm.
It'd be like, Fox waited for Bear to see if he was coming here. And like
Mm.
it just there's a bit of a misalignment there because we're not where Fox would have to be where Fox is. Like that's the only way that would work. Or if he was sort of saying it.
Mm.
Achtuasagu hasatini, kwathatkukwakudi.
Okay, so this is more so if you're telling a story or like if you're not at where you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm not there, so I'm not
Mhm.
gonna use hot. I'm gonna switch to like putting it to things that are actually there.
Okay. Yeah, sensitive.
And then we're gonna get to the so he could see it verb, I think. And I don't know if that's how we want to say it. We could say maybe so he could see where Bear was or something like that. If Bear was coming.
Could it be like if Bear was coming back?
Mm-hmm. Because then I think about the structure of the sentence. So you could say, we naqate kutsiqa kliye wuti, dutoasagu awasku, kwalkuchte kukwatakudi, kwalkuchte guktakudi. He wanted to know if he was coming back. And then you'd have agach satin. So this is let them see it. And so you can grab that hortative and then you put the IT on. Was I sharing the right things? Did you see this thing? And then to that thing. Naqatse hutsiqa kliye wuti. Ashkhindige nakut. Although like I don't know if that's and so you might want to say achsatinit guchsa wehuts. I don't know. Because that's the part where I get confused. To see if he was coming back. Achsatin.
Lance,
Huh.
can you move your picture off that square?
I don't know if I can.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, I could zoom out a little bit.
Okay. I figured it out.
Yay. Something like that. That's one where I might take it to a speaker and see what they would want to say. He waited to see if Bear would come. Because like the other thing is like if he's coming, I want to see him. That kind of thing. No, he never came, so Fox started to backtrack.
Hot, slash, yuck, good lock.
So we wouldn't say hot because we're not there. So I would probably just stick with kesh, ush, hunt. And what would the verb be?
Yanagat.
Wogood. Fox started to backtrack.
Gane kachte. Wogut.
With the gut. So there's two things like the qone and the kuch are both of those want to push it to a zero motion. And then kuch is going to trigger it to go plus D. So you want to say kuch with the gut, they came back. Qone kuch. I'd probably say qone kuch with the good. Qone kuch with the gut started to go back.
And does hunt, it's not a zero, the T,
Well,
like would or not.
it would be, but it's a negative. And so that
Oh, okay,
overrides it and just pushes them all long and low.
okay, chase.
For that first one, could you also say kuchte guchdagut?
Yeah,
Or
he's gonna go back for this.
kles. Oh, yeah, sorry. So kles kuchte guchdagut.
Yeah, he never returned. Or you could say kesh kuchte. Well, to say you'd like to say he never came. Kesh with the good. He didn't come back, and so you're just gonna end up with a straight negative perfective there. The never part doesn't really have to be there unless you're saying he never comes back here. But that's not. That's not what it's saying. Here he came to a little lake, and he got dry rhubarb hollow in the middle. Is it rhubarb? Is it really? I guess so.
Yana 8.
Yana 8 is hollow. That's the only thing that makes me think. Rhubarb is like a celery.
But it's not rhubarb though.
I know.
Well, when I was a kid growing up in Juneau, they used to call Yana 8 Indian rhubarb.
Right?
There is like what is it? A wild rhubarb?
There is, but isn't it shaped like celery? That's not hollow in the middle.
Well, the rhubarb that's a veg that we get as a vegetable and people grow in their gardens actually comes from Siberia.
Oh,
So it's well adapted to the climate, but I guess it didn't travel as fast. It took longer to get here.
sourdough? Dasaway sourdough. A quanch. Hmm. Okay, so this looks really different. So there is a wild rhubarb in the dictionary, but this is what it looks like. Yatag hechasaka. Here he
So
came.
that was wild rhubarb,
Mm-hmm.
and you can eat it?
I don't know. Hechasaka. Yeah, it says sourdock is a flowering plant native to Alaska. Its leaves are an important part of the diet of Alaska natives, such as Yupik, who include it in various dishes such as agudok. Huh?
Maybe it's dry because it's old and that's why it's hollow.
Yeah, it could be. Although, I don't know. So I found this other thing that talks about, and I don't know if this is the same plant or not. That's what the leaves look like. Okay, we could just make it Yana 8 and ask for forgiveness later if we're wrong. Here he came to a little lake. What's a little lake? How do I say that? And how about somebody came to it? He arrived at a little lake.
No good.
I'll probably say uwagut. So there's the arrive part is built in there. We need yach because that's how you arrive at a lake or a river, is you have to have the yach part in there. Yacht uwagut.
Don't you need a diminutive on ak?
It's in there, the KW.
Oh, lake is ah.
Yeah, is lake. Is a little lake or a lagoon. Away. Yana 8. Ayawadla. What about hollow?
Howley. Hi, Ole. Hollow in the middle, no life.
I don't know how you, like, I know they say that about like Yana 8. Huh. Let's say it is. Because the only other time I could think of something like that was when the Yesh Yagu story, where they're talking about Raven or the people, but they bored holes through that hellebore so they could look through it like binoculars. But this one you're saying it is hollow inside. I don't know how to say that.
Could you say it, like compare it to something like hollow inside, like a bone or
Oh, right.
like a marrow? I was just thinking of a marrow bone.
Oh, right. To say like it got emptied or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kestasa atu. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how to say that. That's cool. It's like a straw. It's like a. Well, Yana 8 is like that, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're telling the story in X'éig, you don't need to specify
Yeah,
because everybody knows.
because there's a verb for something to have a hole. For example, "Chahat katecha iti agegewuch." Is there a keyhole? Achlekesh uwuch. There's no hole in my nose. Chawaqi chawchlewach. I made holes in the window. Oh, with a shotgun. That's one way to do it. T'eksh tunach kuyaw duwawach. So this is to make holes in something. Kishawach. It has a hole in it. Kawdawach achtili. The holy shoes. I don't know. Okay, we'll move on. We'll just skip that part. I'll see if I can find it sometime.
They do in that Yagu story. They've got was followed through though, and they say atunach kukauduwatus.
Oh, they drilled it.
Oh, okay. So they're not saying hollowed, they're saying they drilled it, eh? Okay,
Yeah,
right.
so
Yeah, okay.
they are, but they're saying they like drilled a hole through it. Because I'm guessing, so like if you cut Yana 8 into chunks, you could just look through it, right? Be careful if you got allergic reactions to it. But tziksh, which don't get it near your mouth, but you drill holes in it, and then you could look through, and then things don't turn you to stone. Huh? I don't remember seeing anything that talked about being hollow though, too. So they say, yeah, it was hollowed through. But yeah, the verb there, atunach kakaudu tush. So tush, tusha is like a drill. So that verb, like kanash tush is spin the wheel. Or no, kanash juh, kanash juh. Kanash tush would be like spin the top or spin the drill. Okay.
Kune,
Ah,
I just looked up this word that she uses in our stories with her for the word here, like the way it's used in that story here, and then something happened. She says, Hake Ashgao.
oh, hey. Ush.
Hake Ashgao. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So like here, time, I guess, isn't it?
Maybe. Do you remember that one, Cheat Woo?
I
It's
do.
all,
I
yeah.
do. She uses it fairly regularly, but hikashko, yeah, but just one word, eh? Is
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, like this? Hekka?
And there's an ush in there.
What?
hikashko, like ayakwa.
I just looked it up and it was, yeah, in a few of her stories that we did with her. So
Okay. Jeez. So I'm gonna say atunach dutini at it can be seen through. I don't know.
Kenesku yacheti. Okay.
Dasa?
Kenesku
Oh,
bamboo.
because yeah, that's got a hollow core, right? A hollow metal, yeah.
Kenesku yacheti we yana 8.
Ah. Yeah, oh well. Okay, here he went down to and shoved it in the lake, and it came up. Whoa. So you could say, so if we kept it a little lake, you could say uwagut, right? But if you went down, so this would be like at the shore, at the beach of the lake or the shore of the lake. But if you put this on it, that means they went right to the water. So water has a mouth. Like it's kind of cool. So you say X'éig would be right down at the water of the lake. X'éig uwagut. What did he shove into the lake? The rock? The flint? The bear? I guess I should have read the story all the way through.
A dry rhubarb.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Good sheesh.
Am I right?
I'm saying you're right. And so here we're going to go. I don't know if this would be under shove or push. I'm going to look for push. But then what? What does that mean? Like he put it, like not stabbed it down into the shore, but he like pushed it out to sea? Push it onto the surface of the water?
I think he pushed it down into it and then it popped back up again.
Okay.
That's the picture that it's giving in my mind.
It is uwagut.
To push it out there. So I guess because so maybe hint. I'm trying to figure out. He must have let go of it though, right? If it's gonna float up.
How about woodley too? Like
Oh, sock.
but I well, talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Su,
talk. But yeah, okay, right,
yes. Su is the plural,
right, right.
and so it would say wutlit sock. Yeah. Actually, we're gonna say outlit sock. Okay, so he kind of stabbed it into the water. And then, well, he has, I guess we gotta be a little, ajiwanak, it, bone, atwutlahash. Right, is that what it did? Or did it bob up? I just can say it started to float. I'm getting myself confused. I wish that when people are dead, they come back like this, Fox said. Go ahead. I'll just be here. I'm ready to type anytime.
Could this be that at auch dishi? Oh. Or wish that would be one. Oh, Saskasuku.
What's the difference between saying that or achas?
Achal is like a spiritual wish.
Okay.
So it's sort of like closer to a prayer. Adachtashi is I'm hoping. And you could also say ashkshe, and then whatever verb you pick, you got to put in the negative, prohibitive form. This getting complicated enough. Adachtashi we wuna yika we wuna wu ka. They come back like this?
But could that be kuhde yach kudziti or maybe?
And there's, okay, so there's, we'll go to the Raven book here for a minute. So in the Raven book, let's see if I'm sure I could find it. Let's go for the story. I'm going to try Cascades version. So he falls on this kelp, and then to pop up, Keshwudich. That's to emerge from the water. It's like you throw yourself up. Is that what he's talking about? Like, I wish dead people would float like this Yana 8? Is that what he's saying? If only I could talk to this fox. What are you talking about, bud? There's another one too with Gishtach Wugudi I don't know if it's this one. No, he tried to go down. I'm gonna try Emma Marks, her version. So she says, he kept popping back up. Kate Ushtach. So when we look up Kate Ushtach, which is maybe, we'll have to go back to think about this dried thing that he put in the water. Some of these stories get so wild. What am I looking for? T. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's see. K. Ushtach. Which one is that? Well, I guess we could go with At Achtashiwe Wanawaka Kuchas Buddha. Something like that. When people are dead, they come back like this. At Achtashiwe Wanawaka Kuchas Buddha. Yat Ayach Haskapati. But that bear was sleeping pretty close to him and he heard it.
We hoot. Ach. Our Jack Duchan.
What about just wuta? Just go right to the sleeping verb.
Could that be awa? Awa.
Here he picked up a rock and threw it in the water. Oh, we can do that one again.
Te. Wait, te.
We just need a verb now. Hey.
Quality.
Kahint. We threw this type of thing a long time ago.
Row. Never heard it.
Awakik. It's a solid thing. Just when people die. Okay, I guess so. We're gonna have to go back, I think. I don't know if she has this verb though.
Wish.
So
I
we will die. And we're gonna have a single person dying. So here we have die. So we're actually gonna go down and go nanani, but then we're gonna put a fourth person on it, which is an object. So we're gonna go back and adjust this one. At achtashi. Kunanani. Kuchas wadahai. Yat ayachas kakati. At achtashi. Kunanani.
So, if we were to do the guashkshe, could kunanani go negative? Or
That's saying it, I hope people die.
okay.
So whatever goes into that, it's called optative, and it looks exactly like, it's exactly like the like, so for example, I say ichak, shish ichak, don't eat it. Guashkshe ichak, exact same verb. I hope you eat it. So whatever the hope thing is going on to, so that's a good lesson, because then you'll be like, wait, you hope people die? Oh my goodness. Which you could, but then you would go in and we're not going to wish this on anyone, but that's how you say don't die. So you would basically grab that thing and put go'ash kushe in front of it. But don't say that. But like other things, like X'éig, I hope you're good. Or X'éig, I hope your life is good.
So it just has to be the opposite verb of what you're wanting, is what you're saying. So, or like the opposite. So, because you said uyek, which is like evil, right? Or like really bad. And so if you put the gwesh, it switches it.
Yeah, because I think you could say X'éig, don't be good. Don't be good. So it must be like the Joker or something. At ach they would be like that. Which I guess I get a little bit. I guess I'd say wait a. They'd be like that one. At ach wait a. I guess is how I. That one might need some adjustment. Might need some help though. Let them die like a stone. Which I guess coming back to here. Now we're gonna use a portative. Ch'akun. He was mad.
Chant uanuk.
Unuk.
Uanuk.
Oh, I didn't know you were there.
Ish. Fish. Wasatlo. What? Hedu.
Okay, we want a verb, and so hey do, ya do, we do, you do. Those all work really well if there's no verb there. I didn't know. Ye.
Uti.
I guess I'd say et.
Et. So it wouldn't be past tense? Or is that past tense?
Well, I guess he's saying it now. So you'd say it. And I think either one would work here, but I feel like a speaker is just going to use the negative imperfective. So you'd say kesh aye iti, and then it goes et. So the suffix drags the stem long and low. I guess you're right.
Could this be Yehwaji Yahweh?
And I guess I would say
Yahweh.
oops. Yehwaji ayachutia tunk.
Oh, that means sorry, just the tia tongue. Is that just like I think you're right?
Yeah, I think you're thinking about it correctly.
Oh, okay, cool.
If he didn't do that, he And I'm going to say, and then, oh, I would just go like this. Gwachkelli awsni yechwaji winana ach kuch ana atch. And you could use, I mean, I guess for me that's a habitual. Maybe when he didn't do that. And so this is the one where it would be interesting to me as well, if he didn't do that. Because then you're doing a negative. But I guess I would just use a straight maybe and a negative perfective. Kunanani. Kesh kuch. So this is kesh kuch you ana atk. I think. No, not. I think it would be that. And so where I'm getting that from is plural walking. It's a 0. Oh, so it wouldn't be you. It would be this. Kleshkuchasa'at. Kleshkuchasa'at. Yeah, okay. With the fourth person. So both of those have a fourth person, like people do it. Someone comes back. And so, I don't know, I guess you could say kleshkuch. Akwaat or akwagut.
Is Nana just the dead?
Death. Well, I guess we're just ending on that note. My goodness. Okay. It was a great, fun semester, folks. There's still some Raven stories left that we didn't. I just want to make sure we finish that thing since we did. I will post a folder with all the Raven book audio. I highly recommend just listening to the Catherine Mills stuff. She's so good. And also Emma Marks and Willie Marks are so good. There is a part when there's Raven and the bear. Like some of these stories are really interesting too, because in Raven and the Bear, he's like, hey, let's go fishing, partner. And the bear's wife is like, no way, you're always up to something. He goes, no, we're just gonna get some. So he talks him into it. And they're out there fishing, and Raven's pulling up all these fish, and the bear's getting nothing, skunked. And he's like, man, how you get all these fish? And I'm not getting anything. And Raven's like, oh, you can't handle it. Just don't worry about it. It's like, that's the hook. It's like, no, tell me, I could take it. He goes, it's just too much. It's really too much. He goes, no. And he goes, well, I cut off little pieces of my foreskin and I use that for bait. He's like, but don't do it. Don't try it. And so the bear tries it and then like bleeds all over the place and passes out. And then Raven cuts him open and starts eating his insides. And then the cormorant is there. He's like, I'm going to tell. And he goes, oh, well, stick out your tongue. He sticks out his tongue and he twists it off and throws it in the ocean. And he says, don't ever come back to the land. So the cormorant stays out there and doesn't make any sound. And it's out there with Qanuk. If you go to like San Francisco and go out by the ocean, you'll see both of them, Qanuk and cormorant. And they don't come very close to the shore. And they never make noise as far as I could tell. I was watching them. I was like, oh yeah, they don't make any noise. So some of them are just so interesting because like sometimes people will really simplify like Native American stories. Like there's a moral to every story. I was like, oh yeah? Let me tell you this one. Now tell me the moral. Don't fish with your foreskin. Don't listen to Raven. I don't know. Don't trust people. Sometimes they're just fun. And so, but there's so much to them. There's so much depth. The Austin Hammond one with when he goes back and forth with Anna Katzig it's just wonderful. And then there's the song at the end, which is so magnificent. And then we have these wonderful newer ones. So all of these ones were recorded like 1980s and back. So 1950 to 1986 or so. There's this whole bunch of Raven stories. Then there's this huge gap. And then there's one by Shagun, there's two by Anashahash, and there's one by Kayaaní. And so then there's also these newer ones that were all recorded in probably 2014, 15, 16. And so it's really a magnificent collection. And I'm very curious what it's going to look like when it does come out. I've asked to see drafts of it, but I think I'm not in the club right now. But they're going to get it done, and I'm excited. It was really fun to work on with George and Marge and to work live on Susie James and just go for it, and it's so much fun, and there's so much to sort of pull from all of this stuff and to see, like, it took us so long to translate this, and it's a story that maybe we hadn't heard before. I'd never heard that Flint one before. And so, but even as you go through, you're like, well, there's like 6 different ways you could say this in Tlingit. It depends on this kind of stuff and that kind of stuff. And so it's so much fun. And I do think in the future, a class like this it's so essential to people's Tlingit learning, to just be in the language for these long stretches and to encounter, like we went through Hashuka, Hatuanaguyis, Anushi Tlingitanika, Gagiw Dutlat, and Yech Kutlak. There's a lot. There's a lot. So, any thoughts or questions before we go?
I do think a lot of the stories, the details of them are important, but they don't string together in a moral arc in the same way that a lot of Western stories do. Sometimes I think some of the stories are an entertaining device that strings together a lot of important observations. Not so much in migration stories or something like that, but Raven strings together a lot of things.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like if you compare, so like Frankatao was recorded in 1950s, and then Frank Dick was recorded in the 1980s. So they're 30 years apart. They certainly, I'm sure, knew each other because he was elderly when Fred White recorded him in the 1980s. But if you compare those stories, they just mirror each other. But if you look at, and I think those two include a lot more, I think, place names than some of the others do. In the I think the Frank Dick one, he's really naming a whole bunch of places and how important they are to these clans and stuff. And so it's really neat. And I remember one time, I can't remember exactly how he said it. Kayaaní said something like, so when something strange happens at a place, they're going to make a name for it with Raven in the name. So that's why you got these place names like Yechqachi and Yechatli, and there's all these places all around Kayaaní that have Raven in the name. Yech'uch is the Pacific Ocean, and so it's fun stuff. And the Bob Zuboff stuff, like we didn't, like you could do a whole year of a class like this because there's a whole collection of Bob Zuboff stuff. There's a whole collection. So when I come back in the fall of 26, we'll probably run some classes like that because then we can run one that's like just transcription and translation. Just go for it, right? Because you've done this. Now go and try it on your own. That's the one-on-one battles. That's fun stuff, but it's also get ready to take some naps because it is serious work. Like we do some of this work, and March is like, I'm going to bed. I'm so tired because like it is a lot of mental energy to get to this high level and get them to mess around with it. So, anything else?
Yeah, and Jeesh Kane, Yejini Kach.
Ah,
That was yeah, that was a great class. And Jeesh,
geez. Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to hearing your stories on Tuesday. I got one more class to teach on Monday, or I guess two, and then I'm not getting anything ready for anything for a little while. So. Okay, cheese claim. Je wushkach tu steam.
They were Schachterstein.
Jeesh,
And Cheech Plain.
Ah.